Well, I think I'm announcing someone everyone knows, but President of Navajo Nation, Dr. Blue Nygren, thank you for joining us today. And we're going to get one different slide, so you have some items to talk about on here. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, hey, thank you. Good morning. I just want to say, Yate Bene. How you guys all feeling this morning? Good. I just want to say thank you to all the different departments that are here, whether it's OOC, Department of Personnel Management, Vital Records, and everybody that's involved with this program that we're going to be rolling out today. I want to say big kudos to everyone that's been involved. I want to say thank you to Sean McCabe. I want to say thank you to Rosita. I think Rosita's here. Dominic is involved. I also want to, I see that chair of the BNF committee is here as well. Yate, good morning. Honorable Shandine Paris, thank you for joining us. And I just want, Miss Navajo's here. Let's hear from Miss Navajo, okay? Yay. Represents us all over Nebuchadnezzar. So one of the things I want to say is I'm very excited. I'm very happy. I know that as a nation, we've talked about how do we continue to make sure that we make our government more efficient, more effective. Some of the things that we deal with on a day-to-day in process. We just got done with our monthly team meetings with all the cabinet members, my staff. We started at 6 a.m. And one things we always like to do is, who do we like to point at, Sean? I like to point at Sean. It's all Sean's fault. Or it's all OMB's fault, or it's all Rosita's fault, which we can't get enough people hired, and we can't get enough people processed through. And I think that through that process over the past couple of years, we said, it's not fun pointing a finger to anybody, because at the end of the day, we're Navajo, we represent how do we work with one another, and every single day we wake up to say, how can we deliver better services, better goods, how can we be a more effective team? We know that it's already tough enough to try to hire people, to bring them here, but how do we take care of our personnel, our systems, our programs, our departments, our divisions that are here with us to make it more efficient, more effective? And I really commend the team that brought Arctic IT, that brought the ERP system to really bring this to fruition, because I can only see some of the good work that's going to happen over the next year of implementation. Next year is going to continue to take off. We're going to learn how to really work the system. I know that when we have a technology upgrade, there's learning curves. There's how do we process certain ways, do we do certain things, because some of us have been set in our ways of doing certain things, but now is going to come a time that how do we integrate that so that end of the day we can be very proud every time we go home and say, you know what? We deliver for our people day in, day out, because when documents or things that are submitted to the nation, that they're not getting lost, and that we are challenging the status quo. And I think that Arctic IT mentioned to me a couple of weeks ago, this is going to be the biggest technology rollout in Indian country. So all of you should be very proud of yourselves, because you're the ones that are going to show Indian country what does it mean to have a highly efficient, turbocharged government. And that's what our Navajo Nation government should be. That's when we talk about sovereignty, when we talk about self-resilience, when we talk about the great Navajo Nation, when we talk about our grandfathers, our grandmas, and our grandpas, because of our language and who we are as Navajo people, that the United States enjoys freedom every single day. It's because of us. And because of you guys today, moving forward, you're going to make our government more efficient, more effective, and it's going to be so nice to see in the coming years that the fruits of your labor, they're going to see it for the next several years. So with that being said, I just want to commend everybody. I don't know how much more thank yous I can give out, but I really encourage the staff of the Navajo Nation to really take this as something that say, we're going to be the game changer. We want to be looked at as a government that says, we're better than the federal government. We're better than the state governments. We are the best government in the United States of America, and people should look to the way we do things. And that's something that we should always strive for on a day-to-day basis. And I know that as Navajo Nation employees, I know that as Navajo Nation spouses, as Navajo Nation people that live within the community, you guys get up every single day. You're not the highest paid. You work a lot of hours because you care about the people that you're trying to serve day in, day out, and you do your very best. And the only thing that we can do as leaders, I know Honorable Paris is here, the council, myself, and everybody that really tries to figure out how do we allocate the right resources so we can let the professionals do the work. And you guys that are here today, you're the real deal, you're the professionals, You're the one that work the systems every single day. So I commend each and every one of you for the work that you do on a day-to-day basis. And if there's any suggestions, anything that you're thinking about, always reach out to Sean. And one of the questions I ask all my division directors, whether it's Sean, Rosita, or Rosita, and but again, all my directors, my employees, always ask them, what are you doing for employee happiness? Always ask yourself that question. Every Tuesday, they submit a request, and I read through those every single week, and I always ask them, what are you doing for your immediate staff? If you're asking that of your immediate managers, hopefully your managers are thinking about that for their staff as well too. So again, this is one way. One of the complaints that I got over the past 2 years is our systems are outdated. We only have a certain amount of people. How can we make it better so that only one or two can work within the system so that we can do the work that's needed? So again, I commend you guys. This is a great day for the Navajo Nation, and because of you all, we are going to be the next advanced government in Indian country. So and forgive me. We cross in Navajo. We say we crossed over again. We crossed over to the new year, and with that, I know a lot of you have some good goals, right? Make sure you get some sleep, okay? A lot of you don't like to sleep. You worry about your family, your relatives, and everything within what's going on in your life. But always remember, I do it myself. I lay down for 7 to 8 hours. Maybe for 2 hours, I'm sitting there thinking about some things or whatnot. But as long as my body lays in bed for about 7 to 8 hours, I feel turbocharged, I feel ready to go. And the other thing, stay on top of your eating habits. And the third thing is continue to surround yourself with good people, positive mindset people, because that's, end of the day, that's what you can control on a day-to-day basis, is always be around people as, hey, you're doing a good job, this is what's happening, you made this mistake, you can improve on it that way. Continue to help and support one another, because that's all we got every day, okay? Thank you. It's an honor to be your president every day. Hagone. Okay, let me introduce the Honorable BNF Chair, Shandine Parrish. Let's hear it for her.
Ko e ba she tojon do she yaat e jona goda leth ado yaat e nana she eki ani ado na initially go do ba she chin squid cheat ni e da she chains ko ba ha e da she nala akut alstar initially ado she e shandi perish initiate squid na she do to be school do da no zo ba na shadow ado na le bish ba das an initially ado kade budget and finance chairwoman initially. So good morning to everybody. Happy New Year. I snuck away from budget and finance. As you know, it's a Tuesday in January and it's around 10 a.m. So many of you are, we work very closely with you, and we actually have several reports today that are, I know there was a little panel of four sections up there: HR, project management, budgeting, finance, and those are all topics today that we're going to be discussing. And I was telling Controller McCabe this morning, I said, well, you know, we're so used to the FMIS, the paper system, where it takes us weeks, if not days, to try to figure out our own system so that we can produce these reports, so that we can have the discussions that we need to move the Navajo Nation forward. So I appreciate the leadership of President Nygren, also Controller Sean McCabe, Mr. Rosita Toddy, and Mr. Dominic Bial, and also our project managers all across the Navajo Nation that have said over and over that we need a change, and this is the change that you've been waiting for. So we're really excited for this new Arctic ERP system. I was listening to a podcast called How It's Built. It's like a business podcast, and I heard the Microsoft ERP ad, and I was like, oh cool, we get to learn more about it, and this is exactly what the Navajo Nation is receiving. So it's really inspiring to be a part of this, and just to learn more about how we can improve the Navajo Nation. not that long ago, I graduated with my business degree, and I was so excited to come to the nation to evaluate all of the financial statements, but I hope that this improves the process so that we can continue to budget smarter, so that we can enter our payroll without too many headaches, and that we can just do budget transfers at a click of a mouse. And I hope that each and every one of you take something from today, especially the words from President Nygren. Those are really inspiring words, and from all of your division directors, because they really do believe in this system. All of you as Navajo Nation employees inspire me to do the job that I do, because without all of your work and effort, there's no way that I could make the decisions that I do. So I really thank you all for being here, for the education that you all have committed to, and through sitting through another seminar. So I'm going to go back to budget and finance, but I just wanted to offer a few comments this morning. Thank you.
All right, Shandine, okay. And then now, okay, and before we get started, I just want to say, it's an honor to have the current Miss Navajo, former Miss Navajo, and then BNF chair, very ambitious. So let's hear it for Shandine one more time. Thank you, Shandine. Have a good BNF meeting. And so now I want to introduce a guy. Fun fact about Sean, okay? Sean, can you come out here real quick? Stand right there, okay? We're actually going to race up the stairs and come around and whatnot. But again, a fun fact about Sean, if you didn't know, Sean's actually a 3-time high school state champion in basketball. So look at that. Don't try to ball with him, okay? Don't let him tease you, okay? Like, hey, let's go shoot some free throws. Don't let him trick you. But with that being said, again, one of the things that when I met Sean, and one of the things he told me was, you know what, President, if there's one thing you can do for the Navajo Nation, if there's one thing that you can change, he goes, just like you, I've looked at the Navajo Nation government from the outside. I've never done any work for the Navajo Nation itself. I've always looked from the outside. But one thing what we always hear about is its process. And if we can change its process and make it better, this would be something that is a legacy point for not only yourself, but it's a turning point for the nation, that we are ready to catch up and we're ready to be better than whoever is out there. So again, I want to say thank you, Sean, for taking me up on that and working with the leaders and being a true diplomat, because Sean does a really good job with working with the council, working with my division as well, my department, and then really making its round. So again, I know some of you probably miss him at work. Yes, I do tell him, spend more time at your division, okay? I do tell him, trust me, I do let him know that you got to spend more time with your divisions. But as a leader of your division, he's doing a good job working with the council, working with me. And then if you got ideas or strategies, continue to bring it to Sean, because he does a really good job of being a diplomat, because he's one of those ones that really knows how to work with the council, really knows how to work with me. So if there's other changes that you're kind of foreseeing within your departments, and you got a guy that, what do they call you? What's that one word? He said, the guy that works with all the sides, not star, but gosh, there's something. I don't know what it was. But again, I want to say thank you. So thank you to Sean. Maybe share a few moments with us about what this means. And the main thing is, again, this is one of the most blamed person on Navajo Nation. I just want you to let you know. I just got done with all my division director meetings. I got meeting with everybody, and they love to just go. At least some people, they get blamed like this. I mean, one finger, this guy had like 10 of them coming this way. Right? It's all Sean's fault. So hopefully this helps you out, Sean, and really want to commend you for the work that you've been doing. I know you're coming up on 2 years. So again, let us know. Don't tell us any basketball tricks, because I don't want to challenge you on that, because I'm not very good. I'm good at skating though. Okay, here you go. Let's hear it for Sean.
Thank you, President. Just to add a little bit of color to that story. So we were in a division director meeting at 6 a.m. this morning, and the chief of staff was sitting next to me, and he said, "Man, what'd you do last night?" And I was like, "Why?" He said, "Normally you're just upset and mad, everyone's pointing fingers, but today you're all happy." I said, "Yeah, I think I'm pretty excited about this thing we're about to do with Arctic IT." So I'm glad the president got to come here and see this and say a few words and share Parrish. And just to add a little bit to his story, you know, when the president ran for president, I think it was the day or two after he got elected, he called me and he said, "What do you think, man?" I was like, "Well, you won, you're the president." And he said, "We got to start talking about cabinet and all this stuff." And he said, "Sean, you need to come be the controller." And I was like, "No way, man, I'm not coming to be the controller. I got stuff going on." But I did say to him, I said, President, if there's one thing that your administration can do that will truly change how things work at the Navajo Nation, if you just change this process we have. Because I think we can all agree in this room that things are just slow. And every time I get heat from a council or the president, division directors, and they point the finger at me and my staff in the room, I always tell them, it's not the people, it's the process that's the problem, it's the system. And I constantly tell them, look, you don't point fingers at me or my staff, it's the system that we're following. And so the president said, "Well, Sean, how do we change the process?" I said, "Well, part of it is accounting and a lot of the processes we do there." And the president simply said, "Man, go get it done." And so I went from there to the Budget Finance Committee and said, "Budget Finance Committee, we need to start making some changes." Took a little while, but they agreed. They gave us money, so I know we're kind of in a continuing resolution with the budget, but they did see their way through to provide money to get this started. We're working through the budget. Actually, now I'm gonna have to go back to BNF after I speak here and help start talking about that. So, commend President Nygren and the council for having the foresight to say, it's time that we make some changes, we modernize our practices. And I always say this, none of us in this room is doing anything wrong. We can just do it better. And that's really what this is about. And I just want to say that all of you in here should not fear change. Don't fear change, because that's what this is. It's change, right? And you're going to start seeing a lot of new things, over the next few months as we really get into implementation. There's going to be some things that you might just not understand. You might see it and say, well, how is that going to work? It's change, and it's change for the better. And I want you to know that as part of this isn't just a software implementation. It's almost like a culture change that we're going to be going through. And I'm going to be distributing surveys to all of you, especially on my team. And I want you all to be honest. Tell me what's good and what's bad. As we go through this, it'll be really good for my team and myself to know, because I don't know everything. I don't. I know the big picture. I've been doing accounting as a CPA for 30 years. I know audit and accounting from all over the country. But I don't know the day-to-day stuff that each of you go through. I don't know that. You're the experts on that. So I need to hear from you. My team, who's the implementation team, needs to know what you guys say is good and what's bad. And even if that's, well, the controller's not in his office enough, write that down. We need to hear that stuff, because this isn't just Arctic IT coming in with a cool new Microsoft system. It's going to be a complete culture overhaul where my division in particular will become an efficient division where money out is the most important thing that we do. Right now we sit on things a lot. We sit on it, we like to check it, we like to double check it, we like to send it back, we like to send it to DOJ, we like to send it to OMB, we send it back to the council, it goes to the president. Man, we've lost weeks at that point. And for us, it's a system, it's something we're following, but for someone out there who's waiting for a scholarship check or a WIC payment or a veteran who needs their benefits, man, that's days that they have to wait, and we're trying to figure out a process. So hopefully with what we're doing here in the next few years or next few months, and with your help, because people at a lot of levels call me Natani, and I don't know if I'm really a leader. I'm kind of more of a coach, but I know as a good coach and a good leader that nothing gets done because of me. It gets done because of my team, and I always give credit back to my team. The president can tell you that. So as we move forward, I'm going to be leaning on the people that report to me to really be involved with change and walk right beside us with what we're trying to do, get information from you all and their teams, and really try to change this culture of ours. Try to get into a more service-oriented operation where money moves freely without all of these delays. And I know that translates, and we'll let Rosita talk to you in a minute, to how we process people in HR. I know Dom's got a lot of ideas with his team at the budgeting level, and Cordell, and obviously with Vital Records. What we're trying to mitigate is risks on the audit side, but at the same time, we're trying to get money out, because that's what we're supposed to be doing as a government. Money comes in, whether it's from the federal government or from our own resources like taxes and other revenue sources, and then we got to get that out to the people. That's our job at OOC. And that's hopefully how we're going to change this. Thank you to Arctic IT team for being here, presenting this. You're going to start seeing how this is going to be a lot more, from a technology standpoint, fluid and efficient. But again, our job at OOC is now to create a culture that matches the speed of what this can do for us on the technology side. So with that, thank you all who are here. I gotta say, I was a kid, so my clans are Bashe Inishle and Touchitni Bashishchin, and my grandma's from right down the road over here, and I got shipped out here when I was a kid in the summertime when my mom and dad were in school. And me and my cousin, Roger DeHosie, if any of you know him, we used to ride our bikes around this, but this was FedMart, and this theater was brand new. And I can remember seeing, I think, Rocky in here back in 80 something and playing video games right out in the front. So this is kind of cool being back in here. But thank you all again. Thank you to the president, thank you to the council. And just, walk with us while we change this. And we're gonna be just fine. But don't fear change. There's no reason to fear change. And that's what we're doing here. So thank you, and I'll turn it to Reese.
All right, let's hear it for Sean one more time. I did try to offer him to coach the Winter Rock Scouts too, just so you know that. He joined me for a game at the Winter Rock Scouts, and I'm sitting there, and then I started asking him questions like, how many times did you play basketball? Where did you go? How many times did you win state? And then I'm like looking around, where's the athletic director? Maybe he'll be a good assistant coach. I'm like, you travel out here, your evenings are probably, you need a little bit more excitement. So hopefully they pick him up over there. So he'll be a good assistant coach. So hopefully the scouts out there, you let them know Sean's still available. But again, I'm going to introduce Rosita here. Before I introduce Rosita, I'm going to let you know that I'm actually going to head out. I'm going to go to another event. It's not as exciting as this one. It's going to be an inauguration for our chapter officials. It's a little bit more political, so I got to put on my political hat over here compared to you guys. You guys are very more about how do we get stuff done, how do we work better, how do we be better professionals, how can I improve myself, how do we see the best in people. So again, thank you for allowing me to share some time with you all today. And the other things I'm going to be working on to this year as a goal for myself is visiting all 110 communities, spending one day in every community. The other thing I'm going to do is really spend one day in all the divisions as well too. So very soon I'm going to be scheduling a day to come visit you, your offices, spend the whole day, chat with you, talk with you, and do some of those things. So those are some of the New Year's resolutions that I have for myself, because I felt like the first couple of years was getting to know the leadership level, the cabinet level, set the goals, the priorities, the accomplishments, and goals that we're working on. Again, before, as Sean mentioned earlier, without you all today, I want to be given a really good radio report every Thursday. So because of you, I give a really nice radio report, because without the work that you guys are doing on a day-to-day basis, I want to be reporting on anything. So with that being said, I want to introduce Rosita. And I met Rosita, I don't think I ever met, this is kind of how I appoint people. Don't be mad at me. I appoint people based off of what do I hear, what do they say, what kind of work do they do, is their work ethic there, is their heart in the right place, is their mind in the right place. And one of the things I forgot to ask Rosita, I just thought she was Navajo, right? I thought she was Navajo, and I'm just like, okay, cool, she's been here 30 years, I think she'll be able to communicate with the Navajo Nation employees, the staff. I'm like, why not? Let's elevate a Navajo Nation employee all the way to division director and see how well she'll work with the other employees. And so that's how I got to know Rosita, is that when that position got open, I said, you know what, let's find somebody in there that's got a lot of work experience, that can recognize the executive order. And one of the things that she did with the hiring executive order is that now, I think yesterday or today, people are mentioning with the executive order in January that they were able to hire people within 8 hours, that they can bring somebody on. And then some of the background checks that were needed, that they can wait on them for 6 months while these people continue to work. So again, I want to say thank you to Rosita. And really taking on the challenge of really representing all the Navajo Nation employees and coming up to the level of executive director. So let's hear it for Rosita, your human and personnel resources director, and a kit hat. And I know she's not Navajo, but her heart's in the right place. She's married Navajo and all that good stuff. So a kit hat, Rosita, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna make my exit. And Sean didn't let you know that they're gonna play Mufasa this afternoon too. So just kidding. All right, we'll see you later.